Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It is always so good to be here with you. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome. Tag someone, let them know we're on. This is Karen Althea. This is what we do here every Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern Time. We meet here to encourage, empower, and inspire each other in the word of the Lord. And it is certainly such a blessing to be here with you again today. How are you doing? I pray that you are well. I pray most things for you are well. We get it. Everything's not always going to be well. But I pray today that you find yourself in a place of gratitude because God has surely kept you, and it is a wonderful thing. So, how are things going for you in your side of the world? Wherever you are, welcome. If this is your first time, thank you for being here. It is always such a pleasure to have you join. I am so grateful for all of you that continue to connect with others, tag others, let them know we're here to listen the videos as well, the vlogs from our YouTube channel. If you miss it here, of course, or if you know someone who's missed it and want to catch up, we're also on YouTube at Karen Althea Ministries, and you will find these same vlogs there so you can stay in touch. You know that you can also find us on podcast Rise with Karen Althea, and you know also that for housekeeping matters we connect, so you know where to find us on Thursdays and Saturdays. Hey Judy, my friend and sister, it is so good, so good, so good to see you on. Thanks for dropping a hello in the chat so we know that you are here. Welcome, guys, everyone. Others of you who I know are there, and if you don't say something, I'm not always aware that you are there. I am so grateful for you. So come on in, come on in. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you are ready to connect. When I see your hello, I know that you are in. Okay, so welcome everyone. Praying God's best for you in your health today and in the space that you are at. And as always, just before we get into sharing the word today, I want to remind you that we have our Bible studies in the Haven of Healing Ministries on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I am typing that as we speak so that if you want to connect from the website, you certainly can do that there. You can hit the link for our Bible studies and you will be able to join us on Thursday nights. So we also meet on the weekend for weekend services on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't yet joined us in the healing room, we can tell you that you're missing out. We have an amazing time there. The word is reflective, the worship, the fellowship, and our Bible study as well. So at ease, non-threatening, a great place to learn the word of God. If you are new to faith, if you're exploring your faith, we also are a great space for the seasoned believers, those who've been walking with the Lord for some time. Maybe you're a veteran in this thing and you can help us to share faith with those who are new and exploring. We are a place for children, youth, adults, whatever age, whatever stage you fit yourself in. So we want to invite you to that, to join us and welcome. Hi, Derwin. Thank you for saying hello in the chat so I know you are here. Hey, Sister Riley. Cool day today. So cool. Yeah, I am actually back in my turtlenecks because I went out for a walk in the lunchtime and it was cold. I literally had to be in my winter coat for that and my mitts and the whole works. You know, it was so cold today. And you wonder, I mean, it's the end of April. What's going on? Ricardo, I see you, Pastor. It is good to have you on. Glad to know you're present today, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back, all of you. And others of you who are there and you haven't said anything yet, thank you. Thank you for being here and for just joining as we encourage each other. Okay, we're going to get right to it. And I want to share today from the Word of God briefly. And so welcome all of you. If I don't get to give you a shout in the midst of this as I share the word, just know that we are so grateful that you are here. Call somebody in the room. Let them know that we are on as we get into the word right now. So welcome again, guys. I am really happy that you are here. Genesis chapter 28 and verse 16 has been a word that in a way has plagued me this week, my mind. Constantly before me. And I want to share it with you from the NLT. It says, then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, surely the Lord is in this place. And I wasn't even aware of it. And I am so blessed by this word because I think, of the fact that, interestingly, last week when I shared with you that he showed up, I didn't know what we were going to be talking about today. I don't know. I don't have all these words just packed up week after week and just deciding that this is what God's going to speak through me. But as he ministers to me in my own personal life, often I find, wow, the impact. And I want to share that with you in this medium today to say that, God will show up in some unexpected places and some of the unexpected trips of our lives, right? And, we talked about how he showed up last week to his disciples in different places and different stages after the resurrection. But there was something about this that, it never even connected with Jacob till I realized, oh my goodness, here's God showing up again for Jacob. And maybe that is something someone needs to hear, because maybe where you are at, you feel like you're not feeling God. You don't feel like he's there with you. He is showing up. He's showing up in your place and space. And Jacob said here that, my goodness, God was in this place and I wasn't even aware of it. So, Jacob was actually on his way from Beersheba to Haran. His father told him that he didn't want him to marry a Canaanite woman to be wife to him. So he sent him that to go to his mother's people, his mother's family, his uncle Laban. Go back to the place of your people and find yourself a wife there. And that's what Jacob was on his way to do, really. The specifics were meager. He was just not to marry a Canaanite woman. His father Isaac didn't think that was good enough for him, and that he needed to marry within his own tribe and in the family, and for many reasons, their faith, they were not to intermarry and so on. But the specifics were not a lot. Some of us have some very long lists of what we expect. I think the fact that he should marry in a tribe and and among a people that knew about their God and understood their culture and their faith and their practice and what was important, because the blessings of God would come with that. That would be executed in light of them following God's command. And so Jacob was on his way. I don't think he had a lot of concerns about what was going to happen on the way. Just like many of us, you are just venturing out in your everyday experiences. You go to places, not in the least concerned about finding anything extraordinary in the moment. And it seemed from the story in Genesis 28 that it was something similar with Jacob. And so the text tells us, though, when we look at, especially from verses 10 through to this portion in verse 16, that Jacob got to a certain place where the text just says that it was nightfall. The sun had set. It was now going to be night. He was just trying to set up camp for the night. He lit a fire, got some stones for his pillow to take a nap, to sleep overnight so he could continue the journey to Haran the next day. And as he lay down, of course, to rest, in his sleep he had a dream. And he dreamt about the stairway that reached from the earth up to heaven, and how the angels of God were just going up and down the stairway, and God was at the top of it. He was he was standing there saying to him in the dream, I am the Lord, the God of your grandfather Abraham, the God of your father Isaac, and I'm your God. God showed up. Now, God showed up to Jacob in his dream. Now, not everything that we dream makes a lot of sense. But sometimes the Lord does speak to us through our dreams. And, you know, the psychologist Sigmund Freud, who's known as the father of psychology, considers that dreams are the royal roads to the subconscious. And when I think of that, I think of the fact that God can speak to you in your dreams. That means God can alter the subconscious mind. He's addressing the subconscious. He can speak to you from beyond the surface of your thoughts to the inner depth of your thought. And that was what happened to Jacob in his sleep. He wasn't processing anything really about meeting with God in that moment. He was just tired and he stopped to rest. And in sleeping in that moment, God showed up to him in his sleep, in his dream, and on his journey. And when I think of it, I think of the purpose of this particular place that he stopped. He said he stopped in a certain place. I guess wherever nightfall came, the guy just stopped and made his bed. But what he said to me was that he was in a place of rest. Now, that is so important. To find yourself in a place of rest on the journey. I don't know where God is taking you. I don't know what God has for you. I don't know what his instructions are for you. But I know often, even from the example of Jesus, that God shows up in your place of rest. As Jesus would retreat so many times just to rest and to pray, Jacob was at a place of rest right here, taking a break from the trip, resting here for the next leg of the journey. And in his moment of pause, God showed up in his dream. So maybe you need to pause. Maybe somebody here needs to pause for a while, pause for a moment. Stop for a moment, rest a while and hear him. Rest a while and listen. Because it wasn't just about hearing. I think for the first time on this journey, then Jacob was able to hear God, because in his sleep he could listen. He was seeing something. There was a message and God spoke to him, and there was time to listen because he had a pause. He was resting. And God said to him, the ground you are lying on belongs to you. I want somebody to know today, I want to say to somebody today, that don't be overcome by the ground that you are standing on. Don't feel like it is, it's sucking you in and it's going to stifle the life out of you, because you have authority over the ground that you are lying on. Every place your foot shall tread, the Lord said to Joshua. And here in this place, as Jacob lay to rest, God said, the very ground that you are lying on belongs to you. So maybe we need to just slow down sometimes to hear and understand that the place that you are at is not a place that will overpower you, but it will be subjected and it will succumb to you, because the power of God is in this place and the presence of God is in this place. God was right in the midst of Jacob's journey, saying, I am with you and I will protect you wherever you go. Hear what the Lord said to Jacob in this dream. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I promised you. What an assurance. What a word. Where he was nothing. The guy had to take stones to make for his pillow. He was just on his journey, a regular camping out, nothing. There was no level of sophistication there. He was just waiting for the night to pass. And even in that kind of unpreparedness, even in that kind of what seemed like lack, stones to be his pillow, just to chill. This is temporary. This is like a camp. You're just a stranger passing through. But even in the place where he thought he was just passing through, God was with him. So God showed up in his dream. God showed up on his journey. And he's showing up on your journey. I know where you are, you feel like you don't belong. I know where you are, you feel like it is so fickle and there is no sense of stability. There was none for Jacob when he stopped there. You see, his intention was to get to Haran. That's where he was going. That's a city he was going. He didn't realize in the moment that even in the midst of that, that God is in the midst. God is in the parts in your journey that you did not even stop to process or think about the fact that God is with me even in this leg of the journey. So God will show up wherever you are. It may not feel like the most ideal place. It may not feel like the place that you want to be. It may not feel like the place that you think you belong. It may not feel like the place where there is any comfort. It may not feel like the place that you will meet anything substantial or good coming out of this place. And that was what got me here. That Jacob said, when he woke up from the dream, he said, God is in this place. And I wasn't even aware of it. Wow. God was in this place and I didn't even know it. So I wonder if God is at work in your place, but you haven't slowed down long enough to recognize it. You haven't slowed down long enough to rest from all the life's journey and struggle and fatigue and distress, the tiredness, that you haven't even seen the hand of God in that journey. God showed up unannounced in a dream where he could get him, to settle. Because what pushed Jacob here was a whole history of how he deprived his brother of his birthright, how he deprived the brother of his blessing. And then when his father realized that this is it, he said, you are going to lose all of that if you marry a Canaanite woman. You don't belong in this. You need to leave and you need to find yourself a wife. The least you can do is let the blessing I've pronounced upon you be on you, remain on you if you marry accordingly in the right tribe. That was the journey Jacob was on, to go to his mother's people and to find himself a wife. He didn't know that in the pause of this journey, God was going to show up and speak to him in such a profound way that he said, truly, this is the door of heaven. God lives in this place. This is where God lives. And so that's why Jacob called the place Bethel, house of God. He had no intention to do anything with that place but to rest. And God shows up in the unexpected place with the unexpected message, unannounced, to Jacob. And I want to encourage somebody in your place where maybe your bed, your pillow feels like they're hard stones, tough. Your pillow feels like it is so hard and your situation is so desperate to navigate. And your head has nothing to bring comfort. Picture using a rock as a place for your pillow. There's no comfort in that. And in that place of discomfort, as he was passing time, God showed up for him. I want to encourage you to stay in the vein of what God is doing with you. And recognize, pause for a moment and recognize the voice of God in that place. Recognize the move of God in that place. Recognize the intention of God for you in that place. For God told him, this is my intention. The very ground that you are lying on belongs to you. That's God's intention for you in the place where you are at. So victory belongs to you in the place where you are at. Victory belongs to you, whether you're passing through or you're going to come back to it. Victory belongs to you in the place where you are at. And God said to him that you're going to go and I will take you back here and I will not leave you until everything I have promised you has come to pass in your life. What an assurance. You think God's just going to throw you out there to dry, just hang you out and just leave you in a place of your sojourn on the journey, in the walk, when it gets tough, when the stone becomes your pillow, when it gets hard and the challenges come, you think he's just going to leave you there? He shows up unannounced in your place and he says, I will be with you until everything I have promised you has come to pass. So surely God is in your place. Wherever you are right now, he's in your place. Pause for a moment and listen for him. Slow down a bit and you will recognize him. Just stop for a moment. As Jacob did. Just be still for a moment. That's what he tells us in his word. Be still and know. Psalm 46:10. That I am God. Just be still for a moment. And hear God speak to you in your place of uncertainty. In your place of trepidation and fear. This guy's hanging out by himself on his journey to Haran. And yet God was with him in that journey. So he will show up for you. I want to encourage you to know that God is in your current place. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't look like it. There's nothing about it that would make you be quick to believe. But his words for you are true. And he cannot go back on his promises to you. And he says he will not leave you or forsake you. He says that he will complete everything he started in you. He says that he will perfect it. All things concerning you. He which hath begun a good work in you will complete it. He will perform it. And so, like he said to Jacob, I will protect you wherever you go, and I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you. And you're going to look and see, surely God was in this place and I didn't even know it. Sometimes we move too quickly away from the places that we're at. Sometimes we move too quickly from hearing the voice of God. Pause. Press the pause for a moment. Rest a while. Listen intently and hear him speak before your daybreak, before your daylight, before you move on. I pray today, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, whatever is your current place, I can tell you, doesn't matter how desperate it may seem, that God is in your current place and he will not leave you forsaken. May his blessing and his peace be over you today. I pray that that peace will be within your walls and his prosperity within your gates. I am so grateful for you. Every single week you come to this space and you join us and you take in this word and you share with others. God bless you for what you do. God bless you as your spirit is renewed in him. To pause for a moment and to hear him. And many of us have just been going and working our way up with the fatigue, and we are tired of being tired. But rest for a moment so that you can hear the word of God, the Spirit of the Lord speak to you in your least expected place, in the tough places, the places that stones become your pillow. And you know what, for Jacob? He eventually took those stones. After he woke up and said, surely God is in this place, he took the very stones that were his pillow and made them a pillar and poured oil on it, a place of strength and stability, because God showed up. So his tough pillows became his pillow, a place of strength where he glorified God, where he made a memorial and he blessed God for the promises that he gave to him in the least expected place. So God bless you. Stay strong in him. Hold on to his promises, for they are yes and amen. I'll meet you here again next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, 4:30 Eastern time, right here on Facebook. And as always, again, I want to invite you to join us in our Bible study tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. havenofhealingministries.com. You will find the link to our Bible studies. If not, I'll see you in the healing room on Saturday at 7 p.m. God bless you. Have a good one.